Hi, welcome back to the Conflict Hotline. And in a second, we're going to go to our next scenario. And in the meantime, if you would like to join us, you can call 510-848-5483. And so we're going to go to our next scenario, and it's called I'm Not in the Mood. And again, featuring Jenna and Mark.
Well, you don't look at me like that.
What?
You know, you've totally got the bedroom on the brain.
What's the problem with that?
Well, you know, I'm just not in the mood, really, that's all.
You're never in the mood.
What do you mean I am never in the mood?
You aren't. It's ridiculous.
You're just like generalizing and accusing and what, you think that's going to get me in the mood?
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot imagine that if this conversation continues, that either one of you is going to get what you want. Again, similar to what happened before. If you are thinking you want to get to be sexual with each other, this is not going to get you there.
Yeah.
And if you think that you want to get some relief and peace of mind and quiet and a sense of respect for your space, that's not you're not going to get that either. So the question is, what do we do when there's a situation that has somewhat of a high charge and intensity, which usually anything that involves sexuality has, and where you're not in the same place? That involves a great deal of willingness to non-attachment to outcome is really important in this situation, because if, let's say, if you want to be sexual, and I'm not even saying that you do, maybe he's just reading into it, I don't know, we'll find that out, but let's say that you do. If you want to be sexual and you have an attachment to it, it becomes a demand on him, and then there's less room for him to engage his own autonomy, and then it's harder for him to say yes. Even if there was any part of him that wanted it, if he doesn't have a sense that he has choice in the matter, it's not going to go anywhere. And conversely, if you are like completely dead set on she's got to go away, she's going to keep coming back because there isn't going to be space for her. So our goal here is not to be sexual or not be sexual. Our goal is to find a way to move wherever it is that we're moving in partnership, in collaboration.
All right.
So she stretched first last time.
That's
Are you
right.
ready to stretch first this time?
I guess so. As long as I can keep my clothes on.
We'll work on that. I think after all you're safe because it's TV.
Okay, good. That's right. Don't give me that look. You're giving me that look.
What? What look?
You know what look. You've totally got the bedroom on your mind.
So what's the problem with you're never in the mood.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay, I want to just tell you what's actually going on with me. Is that something you'll be open to hearing?
Yeah.
I just know that recently we haven't had much of a connection, and I'm totally nervous that if we were to try and be sexual or anything, I'd have to be totally faking it and not be at all authentic, because I just can't get past the fact that there hasn't been an easy connection with us lately at all. And anyway, I don't know, I've said a lot. Can you just tell me back what you're getting from what I'm saying? See if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say is that because we haven't really been getting along very well lately, it's hard for you to imagine us being intimate and for you being authentic in that space.
Right, that's true. And I was assuming about that you were wanting that, and I want to know what's actually going on with you really right now.
I mean, I was at first But then as soon as you responded, I just felt really frustrated because I agree we haven't been getting along, and I just want us to be close, you know, and have a nice time. And I thought that might help.
Yeah.
So I want to pause here and just check with each of you. How are you feeling compared to how the previous conversation was going?
I'm feeling sad rather than pissed off and angry.
Mm-hmm. And how is that for you?
Well, we're not fighting, and it's a relief to just be telling the truth and to be breaking out of the pattern of, like, we're connecting now, I guess, about this. So.
Yeah. And in my experience, when there's disconnection, it almost doesn't matter what you connect about. Even if you connect about one thing, once there is a sense of connection, it can percolate into the other areas that may have been the source of previous tension. Just the connection itself feeds everything, and so I'm appreciating what you just said. How about for you?
Yeah, I had that experience exactly because I did want to be intimate, but it was just for connection, and so I kind of feel like I'm getting, I feel sad, but I feel a lot softer toward him, and I feel like I'm getting what I wanted, which is a real connection.
Yeah. So, now I have a sense that for you, it's not about how you respond to him, it's even before. I'm getting a sense, and I want to check with you if it's true, that it's scary to express directly what you want. And so there is some way that it feels safer to indirectly send a signal. Is that true?
Yeah. And it feels safer to indirectly send the signal that I want to have sex as opposed to that I really just want to be close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that happens often, that we get these kind of mixed signals, that there's something that is safer and easier to express or show, such as even anger compared to sadness is for many people easier to show. So there's something about showing the vulnerability that gets you the connection much faster, and yet it's so scary. So do you imagine that you might be up for showing it right away?
Sure, I'll try.
Okay. Let's watch.
Okay. So I was wondering if I could talk to you for a minute. Do you have a minute?
Sure.
I miss the closeness that we've had, and I know that lately we've not really been getting along very well, and I'm wondering what your experience has been of our relationship recently.
My experience is that you've been like either on my case or ignoring me completely, and like flying off the handle about stuff completely unexpectedly, and
you don't. So it sounds like we have a similar experience of the relationship, that there's just not been a lot of connection.
Well, you could put it that way, yeah.
And it's really scary for me to say this because I feel really vulnerable, but I want to have connection, and I want us to be close, and I don't know how to do that, and I'm wondering if maybe we could, if you're willing to talk with me about that possibility.
While you are wondering, I just want to say that what you're doing is one of the most courageous things that I know that human beings can do. Because I didn't interpret his response as being super receptive to you.
Yeah.
And you persisted in the place of vulnerability to keep showing your heart in the hope of reaching him, instead of giving up and saying, oh, well, you don't want to connect, then forget it. I'm not going to keep trying. And I just want to check in with you. What gave you the strength to keep doing that?
I think before I started talking, I really connected to how important it was to me. And that just, that became the most important thing.
Yeah.